Imagine paying the price of a house for a single flower bulb. That's exactly what happened in Holland in 1637. For a brief shining moment, tulips were worth more than gold. And then, in just weeks, everything collapsed. This is the story of Tulip Mania, the world's first financial bubble. The story begins in the Dutch Golden Age. It was the 1600s, and the Netherlands had become one of the richest nations on earth. Merchants ruled the seas. Amsterdam's harbors overflowed with ships carrying spices, silk, and treasures from Asia. Wealth was everywhere. And with wealth came the hunger for luxury. Among those luxuries was a new arrival from the East. A flower unlike any Europe had ever seen before. The tulip. Its bright colors, rare patterns, and exotic beauty captured the imagination of the Dutch elite. Owning tulips wasn't about gardening. It was about power, about status, about saying, "I am richer than you." At first, only the wealthiest nobles and merchants could afford tulips. But soon, the obsession spread. The rarest tulips, those with dramatic stripes and flames of color, became the most sought after. What no one knew was that these patterns were caused by a plant virus. But in the 1600s, rarity meant value. And value meant opportunity. People stopped treating tulips as flowers. They treated them as investments. Merchants, farmers, even barbers and bakers began trading tulips. Bulbs were bought and sold like stocks. Soon contracts were written to sell tulips that hadn't even bloomed yet. Speculation was everywhere, and prices began to soar. By late 1636, the madness reached its peak. A single tulip bulb could sell for more than 10 times the yearly salary of a skilled worker. One rare bulb sold for the price of an entire canal-side house. Every day tulips were worth more, and as long as prices rose, everyone believed they could get rich. But what happens when the last buyer refuses to pay? In February 1637, at a tulip auction in Haarlem, the illusion shattered. For the first time, no one placed a bid. Silence. Panic spread like wildfire. If tulips weren't worth today's price, what were they worth at all? Buyers disappeared. Sellers scrambled to get out. Within weeks, tulip prices collapsed. Fortunes vanished. Merchants, farmers, and artisans who had staked everything on flowers were left ruined. The most prized bulbs became just plants in the ground. Tulip Mania didn't destroy the Dutch Republic. The Netherlands remained a powerful nation, but it left behind a warning that still echoes today. Bubbles form when prices are driven not by real value, but by greed and fear. It happened with tulips in 1637. It happened again in the dot-com boom of the 1990s. It happened in the housing crisis of 2008. And many argue it's happening again with cryptocurrency and meme stocks. As the economist John Kenneth Galbraith once said, "There is nothing so disturbing to one's well-being and judgment as to see a friend get rich." And that fear of missing out is what drives bubbles higher, until they burst. So the next time you hear about a hot new investment, the one everyone says is a sure thing. Remember this. 4 centuries ago, people traded their homes for tulips. History doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. What do you think today's Tulip Mania looks like? Let me know in the comments.